Welcome to LCB. Today we're going to be talking about some news. We're going to be doing a review of Monkey Man, and we're going to be doing a draft of the best actors turned directors in honor of obviously Dev Patel taking the dive into the directing world with Monkey Man. But first, we got some news to start with. First being that Glen Powell is going to be starring in Edgar Wright's The Running Man. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the original.
I've never seen
one. It's an interesting movie. It's not like one of Arnie's best in the 80s.
The premise?
The premise is like he's a criminal that he's a wrongfully accused criminal. And he has like put onto this TV show where they take criminals and they pit them in this like competition. If you win, you're free.
Huh. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great premise. It's awesome. I believe Stephen King, right? And
which I did not know that either. I was like, I saw it because I've seen the Running Man poster before a million times. And I was like, that's a Stephen King book.
It's cool. If I remember right, like the whole
King's volume is just nuts.
Yeah. His range of movies, sometimes
you'll see a nutrition facts on a Pop-Tart and it was written by Stephen King.
You never even knew. But yeah, the Glen Powell, I think, good sub in for Arnold. I think the big thing with this is like, how do you separate this from shit like the Hunger Games? Because audiences are going to like see something like this and be like, oh, this is like Fortnite closing in on the storm. Oh, this is like Hunger Games. This is like this. You got to make like be creative to kind of like break away from that shit. And but I mean, Edgar Wright, one of the best directors working right now, if you ask me. I mean, especially with music. I don't know how you incorporate music that much into this, but he's one of the best guys at picking the right soundtrack for a movie.
He'll figure it out. Yeah, I think Edgar Wright there is like just the big thing. Having Edgar Wright's just a cheat code. It's going to be a lovable movie.
Even like Last Night in Soho, which like I didn't love it as much as I really wished I had.
First 2/3 I loved, and then that back third.
But like even that was like so much of it's so fucking cool. And then like every time he does a movie that's more like you could even say like with the Cornetto trilogy, like those are kind of like action comedies in a way.
Oh,
especially Hot Fuzz. So like you throw that in here, I think you could have a really good movie in your hand.
I don't think I've seen a single Edgar.
You've never seen Edgar?
Movie.
Okay. Scott Pilgrim.
I know them all. I just haven't seen them.
Cornetto, you've never seen the like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz,
Baby Driver.
There's one we're missing that was more. Fuck. Right, movies. That's great. Well, you never seen Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead? That's really crazy.
Because it's like your kind of humor. It's very deadpan and dry.
I'll have to check them all out.
I mean, we named basically all the big ones, but you should see at least. You should do
I might just do a full binge at some point.
Double feature of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. I think is
which came out first. Hot Fuzz.
I could see you hating Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. See that's the one I haven't watched. But that's the one that gets recommended the most. But I see the older like action comedies. I think I would like a lot.
Especially, I think Hot Fuzz. There's so many good lines in Hot Fuzz that are just like so instantly recognizable. Like, well, when's your birthday? 22nd of February. What year?
Every year.
Yeah. And I always see him getting credited as the only person who like still has comedy in his editing.
Yeah.
Not just the acting. And
stuff.
So that's cool.
He's super smart. But yeah.
Running Man. I'm in. I'll be caught up on his stuff by then.
Yep. Next.
A weird pairing though.
It is very odd.
It's like Glen Powell in an Edgar Wright movie.
Very, very odd. But
are you guys high on Powell?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like in the right spot. Like, I don't think we have a lot of him right now, like that kind of actor, and I think we need that kind of actor.
100%.
Is he going to be like an Oscar winner at any point? Probably not. But
yeah,
big Jack dude, like fuck yeah, he's just handsome. He can fit into a rom-com.
Charismatic.
Reminds me of McConaughey, like early McConaughey.
Yeah, I mean,
smooth charisma.
He was hotter than Sydney Sweeney in Anyone But You.
I mean,
they just gave him more shots.
His ass. He got the ass
him more skin. Yeah,
he's actually like pretty funny too. Most of the things I've seen him in, where he has like a comedic line or two, like he'll nail him. But I mean, I don't think this is a movie requires.
You know what I really need to watch is what's the one you always recommend that he's in? It's a Linklater.
Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah,
you love that movie.
Fuck yes.
I've never met a guy who didn't love that movie.
Did you see Devotion? With it was him and Jonathan Majors or R.I.P. or whatever, but like they are both.
Is he dead or just a predator?
He's just maybe both. I don't know. I haven't caught up on him in a while, but
good movie,
really good movie, and both of them are incredible in that Korean War movie. Not a lot of those out there.
But he's releasing that like thing with the Angels. What are they called? Like the pilots that they worked with on that movie, because it was all like very practical.
Gotcha.
And they're releasing this like documentary about them, and like he's like narrating the whole thing and like behind the scenes with them. I'm realizing now it probably took 2 years to come out, because they probably shot a documentary with Jonathan Majors as well. They had to like probably comb through and re-edit the entire thing without Jonathan Majors.
It's a cool ass story too.
Yo, what do you do? Oh, I actually got a gig for Disney. I've been with them for 2 years, keyframing Jonathan Majors out
of everything. Color keying out and like editing it out, rotoscoping Jonathan Majors out of everything.
I'm the guy who takes Jonathan Majors out of frames.
There's a new rated R Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out called The Last Ronin. I like the most recent animated movie. I'm still not a big Turtles guy, so like this doesn't move the needle much for me.
For the hardcore Turtles fans, this has been a story they've wanted forever.
Is it like
on the big screen?
Is it like super gory?
Very gory. Like all of his, it's Raphael is the last one standing.
The rest of them are dead?
The rest of them get killed. Listen to this. Listen to this. He goes on a path of vengeance with all the weapons.
Ooh.
Yes.
He's multi-carrying? I didn't even know
he's carrying like the katana, the size, the everything, the nunchucks.
Where does I'm going to say something crazy. Where does the turtle canon come from? A comic book?
Yeah, it's a comic book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty gory looking on some of the slides from the book.
Yeah, so they've been wanting this forever. Live action is where I'm like, why not just make it R-rated? I don't think Turtles need to be in live action. Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't think that, especially trying to make it like dark and serious. Weirdly, I think it works better in the animated space.
Did you see
the goofy like CGI characters or puppets if they just decide to go that route? I don't really.
Did you like the animation style of the new one? That was sweet.
Yeah, it was like crayon. Like I like that. It was fun.
I don't know if that works in the gore sense, but if you're to do like Invincible
so
style,
this one's going to be like dark as hell?
It's got to be.
Yeah.
All right,
it's going to be fucking gory as shit. There's a new scary movie coming. This is one where like parody movies kind of like died out and like they're just kind of gone. Satire, I think, is taken over more than anything. I don't know how you revive it in a way that's like not YouTube sketchy. You know what I mean? Where it's like, that's where like every time I'll watch something like that, I'm like, this would probably be quicker done, better done in like a YouTube sketch. So I don't know how you approach it.
I mean, I think you just have to take like, obviously it'll just be making fun of A24 neon, like prestige horror. Yeah. It'll just be a teardown of that. But like, can you do that in a smart way?
Yeah.
You probably have to be like just really fucking stupid humor to tear it down.
Even that, then like you need to be appealing.
You gotta have the Wayans back for this.
For sure.
Right. Like
you need to be appealing to A24 fans and also general public, which are coming to see a scary movie, which will be a majority of the people going to watch that. And like the crossover there is not very big.
I don't think
you know what would be awesome
know about scary movie either.
If it was just a shot-for-shot Beau is Afraid remake.
Yeah.
With Shane Gillis.
Yeah, just like throw like 3 different people into it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know how you do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, because at this point, like, just, sketch and parody comedy
I know,
is just it's taken over by...
It's fast.
I don't know as much about horror, but, like, as far as parodying regular movies in, like, the zeitgeist or whatever, like, they're just not sincere enough to make fun of. They're all winking themselves and, like, making fun of themselves, so you can't make fun of them if they've already did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's really tough to make shit like this now, so, I mean,
everything's so ironic now.
Yeah.
You can't be ironic on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, like, how do you parody fucking bodies? Like, it's already parodying.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like a House of Cards a little bit. It's just like the more you pile on, just always kind of collapses on itself. Ice Spice was cast in the Spike Lee's remake of High and Low by Akira Kurosawa.
That was an all-time drop, dude.
Just the all-time, one of the greatest headlines I've ever seen, like, come across the timeline.
So I made sure when I blogged and everything too, I was just like, I need to get every single word and name in here because it is an incredible combination of humans. Ice Spice cast in Spike Lee's remake of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low starring Denzel Washington. Just an insane collection of names.
Yeah, it's like one of those fucking Onion articles that get better with each word.
Exactly.
Keep a hat on a hat. Everything's better. What? Yeah, after you.
Oh my god, have you seen High and Low? This is one Kurosawa I have not seen.
No, it's very, very good. But I think the most important thing to note from this is that Spike Lee lost his Asian remake card.
Yes,
it was revoked the minute his Old Boy came out. It is so fucking bad. Disrespectfully bad English language adaptation.
It's crazy he's going back to that well.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I've seen the Old Boy a dozen times.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Incredible. One of the best Korean movies ever. And so he lost his Asian English remake card. No, he's banned forever. But I mean, it's kind of like not really the news item. The news item is more just the Ice Spice casting, but like that's whatever.
I'm seated for that.
Yeah.
Just had Denzel Washington. I mean, she's starring. It's on the cast list right now. Is Denzel Washington
and
Ice Spice.
1-2 punch. That's it.
I have like editor brain a little, but just thinking of multicamming from Denzel to Ice Spice. It's just
she. I think it'll be like not like a big role. I'm assuming it's going to be like Cardi B and Hustlers or something like that, where it's just like, hey, they're there.
No, I hope she's top bill.
Top bill. That's him and
aren't
her
there
and
only
Denzel.
like 2 female roles in the movie?
I mean, I don't think she gets a main. I think she's just like, hey, you're going to be like a little whatever doing something here. But yeah, I don't know. That's just a bizarro news item you see it, and you just got to be like.
I saw somebody was defending it and said Roger Ebert had a theory on why rappers make the best actors.
They weirdly
because it's the only like genre of music where stage presence is a requirement.
That's kind of true.
Sense.
Yeah.
That's like the best athletes that become actors are always wrestlers.
Yeah. That's true.
I made a list of
except for one of our finest. We lost one of our finest athletes turned actor.
Oh yeah.
Why is that? Where's that on the rundown?
He was a slapstick legend.
He was. That's true. I mean, we're talking about parody movies that are all timer.
Yeah. I mean, the guy had the chops. Yeah. we gotta say it.
Norbit. Was it Norbit, right? Was the character? Or Norbin? I forget. Super fucking funny. It's nothing to do. On my list of banned from English language remakes, Rupert Sanders' guy who did Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, banned from all English language remakes. Nat Faxon.
Scarlett Johansson
Hysterical.
should be on there, honestly.
Scarlett Johansson should be on there too, I agree. Nat Faxon, who did amazing, funny guy, super hysterical. The fact that he did Downhill over Force Majeure, banned forever.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Stinky.
Yeah, there's a couple other here, like Michael Caton Jones did The Jackal, which is the Day of the Jackal, amazing movie, and a couple other ones like The Vanishing, City of Angels, bad movies.
I feel bad for them though, because like they could have done that like before Google. You could fucking rip off. You could make it in English, and then nobody would notice.
Yep, nobody would figure it out. Joker 2 trailer dropped. Fladu. I think one of the biggest things to come out of this, at least through CinemaCon, was that my impression was still that it was a pure musical, and I feel like Todd, what the fuck's his name? Director name?
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips dispelled that during that. He's like, it's not really a musical. It's just kind of like a movie with musical parts, and like that. So that part's kind of got the window.
It's a musical. It's a jukebox musical.
He's describing it very differently now.
It's not original score like songs.
Yeah.
But they are very clearly dancing and singing in this movie.
Lots of dancing, lots of singing, lots of cool big sets.
That's where I don't get why people are so mad. He danced and sang. He danced to music for 20 minutes in the first one.
Iconic scene from the movie was him doing that.
Probably the best part of the movie was the score.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good movie, but like the score was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of big sets. A lot. I mean, you're pairing Joaquin Phoenix, god tier actor, with Gaga, who's like, I don't think she's like that great of an actress, to be honest. Like people like Star is Born, I think is awesome. I don't think she's the moving force of that. But I do think that you combine these two and you're going to get something cool.
She's the mother
to get another look at you.
Mother Gucci, father, son. Gucci.
I forgot about that. God damn it.
But she's like, thinks she's Italian. It's the best thing. It's the best thing ever because she's like Italian American.
Replace her with Andrew Dice Clay.
That movie is funny because all the screenshots I see of it also look like the Saturday Night Live sketch Back Home Ballers. Which I don't know if you've seen it, but that's a great pull if you have.
Have you ever seen the AMC? Somebody did the AMC intro edited. Like Nicole Kidman. It's like, we come to this place for magic, and it like flashes the screen, and it's just her getting fucking railed to the classical music.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I think
great.
Creativity is how you make superhero movies now. You know what I mean? Like get something that escapes from the cloud of everything that currently exists. So I mean, I'm down for musical stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm super down. I wonder if this flops or if it's like a big success. Like what does this do at the box office? Because I think it is very clearly turning off its core fan base. But at the same time, you get all the little monsters.
I saw plenty of Redditors get the umbrellas for Schomburg reference or whatever the fuck that was.
Reddit gold on them.
Yeah, they all knew that, right?
Pushes up glasses.
And like the immediate reaction, I don't know. I'm interested to see like how this actually does. I'm fucking pumped for this. Way more pumped than I was for the first one, which just came off like it just had a nasty like aura to it, or like a gross like I don't want to talk about this movie. Ugh. This one just looks like fun.
I feel like
and Lady Gaga looks very hottest she's ever looked in this trailer.
You think she's pregnant in it?
Pregnant.
I saw some screenshots. Yeah,
I would explain why it's doing things for me.
I had a take on this too. I think that Joker 1 is an overrated movie by no fault of its own, but because like it's a good movie.
So
I think that
derivative.
people so beyond even that, just the fact that people so overrated it, like general fan bases were like, this is like the best movie of the year. This is this. It's like it's like an okay movie that's entirely like all of its qualities derived only by Phoenix. Like nothing around him is really doing much.
Technically, like very sound.
It's just like that. It's a very solid movie. People, I think, act like it's the best superhero or one of the best superhero comic book movies ever made. I don't think it's even really in that territory at all. And so that's where I think I have a little bit of angst towards a sequel. But again, musical.
I mean, they're on like the
That's
fourth
thing, like,
Bumblebee movie now.
You
Yeah,
cannot
exactly.
Do Joker 2 and just do the Joker
The same
movie
thing.
again. Like,
Yeah.
no one want. People would want that. Like, do you want that? People like no.
Mhm.
Want to see the Joker again? Just watch the Joker.
Jeremy Allen White got cast as Bruce Springsteen for a biopic that they're doing. I'm not like the biggest Springsteen head, and not to say like I don't like Springsteen. I just don't know enough about him to be like mega
are,
pumped
right?
about him.
I like them. I'm not huge on musical biopics.
Speaking of Phoenix, I mean,
Biopics is what I said.
You're being classy.
Oh
in this
no!
place.
Well, they all remind me of Dewey Cox.
Yeah,
I've seen Dewey
Well,
Cox too many times.
Walk Hard is still incredible. Speaking of Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh,
or not Walk Hard, fucking Walk the Line.
Walk the Line.
Yeah,
Walk
yeah.
Hard
I
is
just did it,
incredible though.
Yeah, both amazing.
Yeah, it is tough to do like a musical biopic after Walk Hard came out because they really just kind of nailed.
And
every
Ray was
single-
amazing.
Yeah, Ray was amazing. All before that was all before though.
And well, I mean, technically speaking, although they found a way to make it different, Rocket Man was incredible.
Yeah, Rocket Man was so different.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
gotta
think
watch that.
works.
Super different movie though.
But
than,
like Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, big fart.
I don't know. It just seems like kind of a way to get like a general public to like see somebody's discography, but it's like I don't know, just listen to their music or like read
I
about
will
them or
say
something.
this one. I think the plot. I could be wrong on this. Is that it's only going to be focused on the making of his Nebraska
One album, yeah.
So it's like
Oh,
focusing
that's
on
neat.
it very. I like when
That's the way to
biopics
do
do
it.
that. Is like
Yeah.
when they just focus in on kind of just one
Like, what
very
if-
specific time period.
Who did the Jobs movie? That was like 1 week.
That was 1 week.
Not 1 week, whatever it was. It was.
You're not talking about the Kutcher one. You're talking about the
I'm talking about
Fassbender
the
one.
other
Oh, that's
Fassbender.
Sorkin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that one is incredible. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
He's getting
Fincher. Is that Fincher?
that was Fincher
and
Sorkin
Yeah.
script.
Yes.
Jeremy Allen White, I think he's getting over. Maybe he's on the borderline of overexposure. I think he's amazing, and I
So
think he
do
can
I.
handle it. But I do
But-
think he's on that borderline
Yeah.
for sure.
He needs to pick interesting things.
Yeah, and I think this is an interesting. So.
How tall is Bruce Springsteen in real life?
I can't imagine that tall.
I think he's got at least 6
So-
inches on Jeremy Allen White.
I would say. So I watched that. What do you call it? They did a documentary about the "We Are the World" thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and he didn't look very tall compared to the rest of
Okay,
the guys.
because he looks kind of lanky in his old pictures.
Yeah, White's
see.
like I think
5'10".
shorter than Gooch and I.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's
I
like
think
5'4".
Yeah. Jeremy Allen White height. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a picture of
It's 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7". I bet he's
Same
not.
as me.
Yeah. That's like Hollywood 5'7".
yeah.
It's like 5'5". It is shocking, and this is something that happened a lot, especially when you're doing interviews and stuff. Like how short actors are.
Yeah, true.
The one that always got me was who's Buster Scruggs? Three name
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
he's in Holes too.
Yeah, what's his name? Fuck.
Dude, and he's in Watchmen.
He's amazing. He's
He's so good.
actor.
He's in
It's
Oh Brother,
three
Where Art
things.
Thou?
Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson was shockingly short.
Really?
Like he was 5'1". Like I was shocked.
Wow.
how
He
short
must
was.
not have been around to play Bruce.
No, he was.
They called him.
yeah,
It's like Pacino. Pacino's like 5'3".
yeah, exactly.
Damn,
Dude,
dude, we got to move out west, you and I. We
uh,
have all these fashion freaks walking by us like
I
6'6"
know.
in
Yeah.
Soho.
Jesus.
Maxxine's trailer came out. Looks incredible. We are both big fans of X and Pearl. I still have from the premiere of Pearl. I think it's like a Bloods bandana that they gave out that just has Pearl's face on it. It's really weird.
That's sick.
But Pearl, both of them I think are awesome. Very different movies, like traditional horror and then like anxiety-inducing horror. Both great. Ty West was a great interview too. Really cool. And I think that this looks like totally different from that too, incorporating like the Night Stalker, 80s neon, LA noir vibes. All that looks sick. Very interested in this movie.
Yeah, no, it's like a big testament to how strong of a director he is. That he
did
can
he
like
just come out of nowhere? Is this his the Pearl trilogy, his first thing.
He did something.
Or is it
before-
called
I think
X
he did,
trilogy,
like,
by the way?
one thing.
He did a couple things before that, but I forget. It was
That's
nothing
where
crazy.
He did like something with
House on a Hill and like let's see, a lot of TV
Anyways,
stuff.
I was gonna say, like, it's a real testament to how strong of a director he is, that he can not only just stay in the horror scene, but like do it in these 3 different, very distinct time periods with very clear like stylistic differences between each movie, while like keeping a common thread between the 3 of them.
Hey, you're gonna bust, but he did the Scream TV series in 2015.
Shit!
I didn't know they did a Scream TV series.
Some fake Scream fan,
Oh
fake
my
Scream fan
God.
didn't even know they made one.
But yeah, I was gonna make the same point as you. Like landing a trilogy like that early in your career is the most impressive thing I've heard in a while.
In the interview, he told us like he essentially was finishing because they shot both Pearl and X at the same time, and like he was finishing like parts of X, like I think the script or something, or maybe in pre-production, and they're like, hey, let's just do another movie. And like they like really fought to try and get some extra money, and then they got them both done, and they filmed them both like back to back pretty quickly in like New Zealand, I think, right? Yeah. And then obviously they're both hits, and this is proof of that.
Dude,
trilogy.
Mia Goth is also like just a fucking force.
Her monologue in Pearl is unbelievable. That was the second take, I think he said, right, or something.
Yeah.
The interview was crazy.
Damn,
it's nuts, and that was like a 10-minute monologue, and she nailed
also,
everyone.
Halsey, what a woman.
Who else is in it? Kevin Bacon looked really cool.
Halsey might be the only woman who can make me come with just her voice.
What's his name?
Chainsmokers song.
Just whisper a Chainsmokers song to me.
Cannavale looked cool too. A couple other guys in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was Giancarlo in that too?
Giancarlo Stanton, I think, is Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton in that movie would be
Giancarlo
great.
Stanton and Ice Spice cast in Akira Kurosawa remake.
Giancarlo Stanton would fucking break his elbow like 2 days into production. But Giancarlo Esposito, I think, is like her agent or something in it. Which is very cool. Obviously, great presence. But yeah, that's all the big news items. Shogun's episode, last one. You, I think, probably you watched it. I'm not sure if you're on it
I'm
yet.
still
Not caught up.
I'm still not. I'm behind. I watched Fallout instead.
Newest episode of Shogun. Just as a quick recap, incredible. There were 2 very intense scenes. Both of them, some of my favorite screenwriting of the entire series so far. Amazing shit. Amazing shit. Really, really powerful. Like gut-wrenching shit, and really like that. X-Men 97. Did you catch up on X-Men 97?
No.
Oh, this last episode was one of the craziest things in animated television I've ever seen.
I saw some clips and I was like, looks fucking fire.
Yeah, it is insane. And like that's why I'm pissed it took me this long to get into X-Men 97. It is fucking awesome.
It's shocking. I gotta say, it's shocking that Marvel has knocked it out of the park with this animated series, because for the longest time, Marvel has had dog shit animated series.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say movies.
Yeah, all their animated stuff has always just been kind of fucking trash. So the fact that they have this,
They cracked the code.
it looks great, and it's like paced well, it's good for kids, good for adults who like the original series. Yeah, I'm
Lots
pretty
of nostalgia.
surprised.
Good nostalgia too, not like hand-fisted nostalgia. And then Fallout.
Yeah, I watched the first episode.
What'd you think of the first episode?
It's really good. No, it looks great. I
Did you
think
play
there's
the
a
games? I
very
forget.
clear weak leg on the 3 storylines so far, but
That one gets ironed out as you go.
okay, yeah. Goggins just, I mean,
Crushing it.
I do this shit for the love of the game.
That line was so fucking hard,
was
dude.
so
That was
good.
unbelievable. I finished the series yesterday. The season yesterday. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'll
probably go home and like finish or continue it tonight.
Dude, it's so good. There's so many different things in it where like they have a very clear, and this is something that's like been a problem I think with a lot of different video games, is like just not having video game adaptations, not having a reverence for the material.
Oh, I raised my hand. Sorry.
Hit it.
Is it true that Rihanna is starring in a Smurfs movie?
She is. She's cast her whole Smurf movie out.
Dude, they had her on. All right, so at
What do you mean?
at
What?
CinemaCon at the Paramount panel yesterday, this is just like hilarious that they like CinemaCon
The cast is
works
kind of
like-
crazy too.
They get like these massive stars to go up on stage and like dance for these like dance like monkeys, basically.
I have
for,
a
like, these,
Smurfs
like,
tattoo,
people.
dude.
And they had Rihanna up
You
on
have a
stage
Smurfs
yesterday
tattoo?
talking
Yes.
about the Smurf movie.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that.
That's you looking at
So
you
exciting.
on stage.
Yeah, Greer and I have matching Smurfs tattoos, and we've actually convinced some other people afterwards to
I'll
get
tell you
them.
who you can
We've gotten
convince,
like up to a dozen. Yeah. It's a
That's
quote from COVID. There was a French mayor who came out in defense of a Smurfs rally during the height of the pandemic, and he said, "We must not stop living."
We must not stop living. I forgot about that. Greer showed that to the other day. That's really
But
funny.
wait, so she's Smurfette?
She, I believe, is Smurfette.
Mama
Let's
Smurf?
see. It's being directed by the guy who did the Scooby-Doo movie with Mark Wahlberg from like over COVID, which actually wasn't bad, all things considered.
And Kurosawa did that script as
obviously,
well?
yeah. And Ice Spice is on the track. Neil Patrick Harris, Julia Roberts, Katy Perry, Hank Azaria, Joe Manganiello, a couple other people in this cast.
Now, are they going to be like
Kids know
blue,
about Smurfs.
like blue people like Avatar, or are they going to be animated? What do you think?
It's got to be animated.
Live action hybrid.
So it'll be like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Who's Gargamel? Ooh, could be. What? Gargamel is like kind of an older guy, right?
I can't remember any of their names. I remember Papa Smurf.
They need to answer the age-old question of what color Smurf spunk is.
Yeah. Well, we will absolutely get the answers to that question. I mean, Gargamel. Yeah,
I've always thought purple. Oh, what?
We could do some Gargamel. Who could play good Gargamel? Hank Schrader. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That actor's name. We'll find a good one. Who was this?
Open casting for Gargamel.
That's a Danny DeVito.
In Hollywood.
Danny DeVito. Oh yeah. Oh, he'd love that. In between Jersey Mike's commercials.
Glenn Howerton could be a Gargamel.
I mean, he was good as fuck as a bald guy in Black.
That's what I'm picturing. I'm just picturing him bald and
That
Blackberry.
movie was so fucking good, man. I really wish that got more respect, especially Glenn Howerton.
I'm from Waterloo,
where the vampires hang out. It's so
shit.
fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
It was my dad's favorite movie of the year, which is a great stamp of approval. Dad movies.
Dad movies. I mean, that it probably just edged out Air. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fallout's been awesome. I think something when you're making an adaptation is just you need a reference for the games.
Yeah.
Something you don't have in Halo, which has been an unmitigated disaster, and then something you do have with The Last of Us. But the difference between The Last of Us and Fallout is like The Last of Us is such a linear cinematic storyline as it is. It's like you don't get to veer off and do your own shit.
Yeah.
Fallout is only that. Everything is dictated by your choices. And so like you're kind of like, how do you do this? And they're telling a whole new storyline. New storyline's awesome. Jonathan Nolan, obviously, who we had talked to us, I think, last time.
Yeah, Dark Knight, Interstellar.
He wrote all these movies with his brother. He made Westworld. He did all these other things. You could see that in a lot of this. A lot of reverence for like little tiny things for the gamers that are like infrared for non-gamers, like a sound effect that's pulled directly from the game.
Oh,
like
that's
will sound like a med pack sound.
Yeah,
a stim pack in the game. It's like it sounds like it's literally lifted one for one from the game. Shit like that, where like you wouldn't realize it.
Yeah,
but fans appreciate it. And
I
like
also appreciate that they made the main girl look like a video game character.
Dude,
Ellen
great.
Pennell, yeah. She's got the biggest hazel eyes of like.
She looks like Alita Battle Angel.
She does.
Yeah.
But I didn't recognize her. She's Jackie from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, she's very charming in this too, which is perfect for the type of role it is. And all the rest of the cast I think is pretty sick too. And again, Goggins is just I do this shit for the love of the game and one of my favorite
That
lines.
was awesome. That was
so fucking
good.
cool. And there's a couple other I don't want to spoil shit, and people are starting to come around to it. And when I tweeted it the other day, I didn't want to say anything about it. There was a little cameo by an actor in season 2, which was in episode 2, which had everybody like, "What the fuck?" And it's actually kind of perfect.
Was it Richard Lewis?
That would be very shocking. But no, it's somebody who is affiliated with the Barstool world, which made people a little bit. It made me go like, "Is that actually that is?"
Damn.
But I wonder if you can guess who it is. Hollywood person affiliated with the Barstool world.
Hollywood person affiliated with the Barstool world.
Was affiliated. Now very negatively affiliated.
Oh, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we made blank that out.
Does he play one of those like mutant, disgusting freaks?
No, he plays almost worse.
That would have been a really good casting.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Dumb Money in theaters, by the way?
I did, unfortunately.
You did? But were you fired up?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't
bad. It was fun.
But when you saw Dave, were you like, holy shit?
Yeah, I kind of was. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was walking up and down the aisles. That's actually, I know him.
I know.
That's my boss.
I got his number right here. Actually, yeah. What do you call it? Okay, so now we can do our draft. We're splitting this all up. We're be doing the Monkey Man review and Civil War review later on. But first, let's do the draft. Randomize the order ahead of time. It's going to be Owen, then Robbie, then me. It's, again, drafting actors that turned director. So you get essentially their entire filmography when you draft them. So starting out with Owen, you get your first pick of the entire draft.
Damn. I wasn't planning on that. My first pick's probably not a first pick, but I'll go Jordan Peele.
I don't hate him.
Very respectable first pick.
I admire the sketch to feature pipeline, and his shit's been incredible so far. It's been very good. I like Nope a lot. I haven't seen Us. Get Out's obviously great.
Yeah.
Nope, absolutely criminal. Didn't get the cinematography nom.
Insane,
one of the most
dude.
beautiful movies.
Stunning movie. Like in the same movie, you see like a monkey bludgeoning like little kids, but then also like spectacular
that house
Western
scene.
landscapes.
Oh my god, that house scene in the dark.
monsters.
Holy shit!
Oh man,
Sound design's unreal in that movie too.
yeah. I think that movie is just a fucking blast.
The
I've
creature
seen it
design
a
for
ton
like a
of
UFO,
times.
like we don't really
So
like
cool.
we've seen it all. It feels like, and like you found a way to make it look new and different.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Stephen Yun, how do I say his last name?
Yeah, nailed it.
Stephen Yun's monologue where he like describes his trauma, but
Yeah.
in the form of the SNL sketch that talked about it. I thought
Yeah.
that was fucking awesome. And yeah, Get Out. I don't know. You don't have to talk about.
I mean,
Yeah.
perfect movie.
Us is very good too. I think very different, a very interesting concept too.
Another
Lot of cool shots.
robbery with Peter Nyong'o.
Nyong'o was crazy in that.
I gotta watch that. That's the one. The premise is like there's almost clones of them. Right?
Yeah, like
they're
everybody.
tethered,
Yeah,
yes.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a shame when Jordan Peele's like 12 movies in and doesn't have a single Oscar nom. because
Yeah.
he's in the horror space. That's gonna be very annoying. And then he like tries to do something stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's also why I gave the nod to him. Like I'm not a huge horror guy, and he very much gets me into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's totally respectable. And obviously he produced Monkey Man, which we'll be talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
cool as fuck that he did that.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't, we'll talk about Monkey Man. Didn't love it, but
He
like
saved
that's
that
cool
from
as fuck.
streaming,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's cool that he did that.
You're up.
My first pick, like maybe my 1A, like all time favorite Hollywood person, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. that would have
Clint
been my
Eastwood,
That's what I thought was
actor,
gonna be the
turned
one.
director. I mean, his bag is just so fucking deep in terms of direction.
Very.
Like,
Outlaw
like he's
Josie
got
Wales.
yeah, like it
Unforgiven.
like starts early. Like he starts early, and I'd say his first like really great movie that he directed, High Plains Drifter, when he's just the devil. Outlaw Josie Wales. I mean,
Unforgiven all
Sudden
timer.
Impact, Pale Rider. And this is like before the even gets to the 90s where he wins for Unforgiven. He's got, I don't know how you feel about Mystic River.
I like Mr. River a lot. I think he
Mystic
did a good
River.
job in that.
And $1 Million Baby, people I know split on that. Still great. Then Flags of Our Father, Letters from Iwo Jima.
Yep.
So fucking good. Changeling, Gran Torino. I didn't love Invictus.
Gran Torino, Michael Greer's favorite movie.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Makes perfect
And then
sense.
he
He's
obviously
told me
has a
that.
bunch of trash in here too.
He's like watching that like a
But-
high school or like army guys watching American Sniper. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really incredible, and like the way people talk about him as a director, like he's got such a unique style where he really just like gets on set, let's get the fucking job done, and he just leads from the front, and he always comes in under budget, under time, and he pumps his movies out.
He doesn't see Take 3 a lot, right?
No.
That's the coolest shit ever.
I was talking to this ahead of the time. When we interviewed Ryan Phillippe, he was telling us how like I think it was Letters of Iwo Jima he was in. And it was probably Flags
It was
for
one of
Fires.
those, yeah.
And like they would all be like lagging their way because they were shooting like, on location in like an island in Hawaii or some shit, and they're all like hiking up the mountain every day to shoot. And he's like there 6 a.m. already walked up the top of the mountain because you couldn't take like a chopper there or something. And this is like 85 years old. He's doing
It's
this.
built different.
Very much built different.
He's just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
There's no way
Yeah.
around it.
One of the few people that is as cool as the characters he plays.
He was the first guy to put 3 or 4 watermarks on a selfie.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You never
don't
seen
see
these?
that?
It's very
No.
funny.
Dude, his Twitter account and like Instagram, whoever runs it, they add these huge watermarks to his pictures, but they take up most of the picture. And it's like, this was taken by ClintEastwood.com.
Yeah. Very, very funny.
It's like little family pictures. It's great.
Dude, it's look at these. Dude, it's great. It's crazy.
It's like a Facebook infographic.
Yeah, like literally, yeah. They're so funny. Okay, so Clint Eastwood off the board.
So you go twice?
Yeah, now I got twice. I'll start with Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner's an all-timer, I think. There's a stretch, and I was texting Clemmer about this earlier. The stretch he has of consecutive movies is insane.
It might be the best ever.
Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, all in a row. Like, it's an incredible stretch of movies. After that, he kind of like steps away a little bit and like does more tiny stuff.
That is pretty nuts,
But
yeah.
that stretch is insanely hot. So I'll start with him there. Obviously, and he's like a Hollywood legend too. From all those
What's
other
your
things.
favorite out of those? Like, because
I think Misery has to be it, like just by default. But like I think out of favorite, it might be a little bit different. But I love.
if I go favorite, I think it's Princess Bride.
I
Princess
fucking
Bride.
love. You have the Criterion for it. It's sick.
Yeah,
It's
the
really
book.
good. The book one, yeah. It's fucking good.
Comes in like a little
Like an
story,
actual
like a fairy
storybook.
tale book.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
It's awesome.
Great movie too. And like I mean, all those are absolutely. My middle name is from my middle name's Gordon, and my middle name is from Stand By Me because my parents
There we
loved the character Gordon so much.
That's awesome.
So after Rob Reiner, I think and this is maybe more of a struggle. I think I'll go. Fuck. There's two. There's two I'm really struggling between. I think I'm gonna go with Jon Favreau, because Jon Favreau has not only do you get The Mandalorian, which is awesome, but you get Chef, which is one of my favorite. Just feel good.
He makes a grilled cheese in that, huh?
Dude, but boy, does he! He makes a hell out of that grilled cheese. You get Chef, you get Jungle Book, which I really like. You get Iron Man, which is culturally obviously super significant, but on its own an amazing movie. And you get Elf, which is I think one of the best Christmas movies ever made.
Oh,
So just like
I forget he's Elf.
I think everyone kind of forgets he does everything. Like it's.
I think I miscredit that to McKay.
No, very much Jon Favreau. And I think that this combination of stuff is just it's too hard for me to resist. So I'm gonna go with old Johnny Favs.
That's a great pick.
Gooch, you're back up.
I'm gonna go. This might be just a basic pick, but I gotta go Ben Affleck. I gotta go with him.
Great catalog.
Yeah. I mean, like, movies might be stylistically boring in terms of like I don't think he has like a very clear style as a director. Like, he kind of paints within the lines.
He's a paycheck guy.
But I mean, you can't deny fucking The Town, Argo, The Accountant, which good movie.
Maybe the second one.
Air. I mean, did he also direct The Way Back? I can't remember if he just starred in that.
I think he just starred in it.
But
I like
those four alone, I think, put him in this conversation.
Gone Baby Gone, really good.
Yes.
Like some of them are kind of missing. What was that New Orleans Mafia one? That one sucked ass.
Yeah, no, I like Ben Affleck, and I like his filmography so far. I think at some point he'll like do something very cool.
Yeah, it is weird.
I really want him to do that.
He's
I
the
really
man,
want
too.
James Gunn to get him on the fucking phone and have him do that Batman movie.
I love how fucking pissed off he is to be alive every day.
24/7.
That's exactly how I feel all the time.
Drinking coffee.
An all-time tattoo. Just
oh my god, all-time bad tattoo.
Yeah. It looks like the one Jack goes to Thailand to get lost.
Yeah,
but on
like
his whole back.
The fucking. You ever see Andre Kirilenko's all-time bad tattoo? It looks very eerily similar to his. They might have gotten the same guy. But yeah, I love that pick. And also, it's weird. I was just thinking about how, like, in recent years, he had a real bad career during turn down, right? Like post.
Yeah, I think he just like in terms of like his just public image.
2000 to 2010, not even just public image, but like the movies he did were very bad. And I would say like from 2000 to 2010, and then after that, he starts making his own movies. They're all pretty fucking good, and he's really good in them.
Yeah.
And I think recently, we kind of forget, he's been in a lot of shitty ones. That Ana de Armas one was ass. And he did Hypnotic.
Hypnotic was so
and
bad.
he did a couple other
That was a favor for Rob Rod.
Yeah.
That movie was so bad. There's not a world in which Ben Affleck read that script and thought it would be anything other than shit.
It must have been like a 5-week shoot.
Gambling debt?
Yeah, or that too. Oh, and you get back to back.
Back to back. I will go back to somebody else who started in sketch comedy, Ben Stiller.
Nice, good
Great
one.
pick.
I loved his sketch show.
Yeah.
And I loved Tropic Thunder and Zoolander and Cable Guy. And I can't wait for Secret Life of Walter Mitty to come out.
Yeah, one day, one of these days. Delays.
The trailers are so good.
What is that song they have in the trailer? It's like,
It's the people who do Ho Hey.
Yeah, I think so.
Lumineers, I think, right?
Something like that. Severance too, you get.
Oh, that's right. Severance. I get the first season of Severance and nothing more.
Yeah, well, hopefully season 2 soon.
No, but to be serious, I like Ben Stiller a lot, and I think his movies are good.
He did that like Escape from Dan Mora thing too, which I heard was really good.
Okay, I haven't seen
that. Del Toro and a couple other people, which I heard was really good. I haven't seen it yet.
I'll have to see that. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I don't know if you guys clown on it.
No, like legit. Like
okay,
I do like that.
I thought you guys make fun of it a lot, but I saw that when I was like young enough to think that was the most deep thing ever. I was like, this is the best. I love that.
Such a vibes movie.
Yeah, it's good vibes. Just longboarding in like Iceland. I'm like, that's what I need to do right now.
Exactly me.
Ground control. Major Tom.
Yeah, so I'll go with Ben Stiller. Oh, Tropic Thunder fucking was pretty nuts that he directed that himself. Like he had like I've watched the behind the scenes on that. Some of that he was like directing action sequences with no arms because his character had no arms. Like, it's
and
so
the movie
cool.
looks great. Kids today, you may not realize this. Comedies didn't used to look like car commercials.
Now they all just look like an SNL live multicam.
Yeah.
But like it used to be shot like movies.
Which, by the way, you guys will like.
The fake trailer's so good.
Saw the Fall Guy yesterday. they're back.
Damn, that's
Spielberg
Big,
is right.
big budget.
Did you see that
romantic
very
comedies.
early? When does that come out?
I think like a month or something like that.
It's pretty early.
Embargo's up, so I could say a little something. But yeah, it's back.
Fuck
We're back.
I love to hear that. You also said the chemistry was amazing.
Chemistry that feels so rare with rom-coms. Like the leads actually having chemistry now.
Yeah.
Like even Powell and Sydney Sweeney, I don't really think had much going on there. But
I had a better chance of fucking Powell than she did.
yeah, and then Powell and Gosling and Blunt are like really good together.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so Jordan Peele, Ben Stiller, and then third I
and
will
last pick.
go with Dennis Hopper.
Hell
Wow,
yeah.
nice. That's a great pick. I didn't even think about that.
Easy Rider is probably top 3 all time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've read and watched a lot of the making of that. It's just like the coolest story ever.
Mm-hmm.
Shot with like a lot of non-actors themselves, just like motorcycling across the country, and they were just actually getting really fucked up the whole time, taking acid and doing coke and stuff.
He's
And
a
I
nut
think
job.
That just rules. That movie rules. It's like the best soundtrack ever. It was one of the first movies I think to do like a not anachronistic because it was like on the radio at the time, but it wasn't like a soundtrack. They were just taking hits from the radio.
Yeah,
It was just bangers.
great bangers too. I didn't even think about that. And he's
Got a couple other good movies too, but Easy Rider's what I wanted to talk about.
He's a guy that I think was old, and I still thought was taken too young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he died when
He had a great cameo in Entourage though.
2010. I was gonna say literally 2010. But yeah, it feels like it was taking too long.
There's an episode of Entourage where Vince goes and gambles on European soccer with Dennis Hopper and the boys.
Hell yeah.
So Dennis Hopper, your last pick. Robbie, your last pick.
My last pick, I respect women. So I will be picking Greta Gerwig. 3 for 3. Actually 4 for 4. Little Women, obviously peak. Lady Bird.
Little Women peak.
Peak
Little Women is one of the best movies of the past decade.
about Little Women. I agree. Actually, wait, no. Fuck, what was the one where they all went miniature? And there's Minnie Hong Chow. That one was actually the best Little Women movie.
Were you offended?
You're talking about downsizing.
Were you offended when people were calling Iron Claw Little Women for guys?
No, because they're not wrong.
But you already had Little Women
Iron
for
Claw
guys.
is way sadder though. Like 10 times sadder, and
Significantly
way more
sadder.
dramatic. There's only one childhood death in Little Women. There's like 10.
Like per hour.
Yeah. So Little Women.
There's so many child deaths they had to
Barbie.
cut one from the story, which is crazy.
So just for pacing, we're probably going to take out a few of these child
Yeah, just
deaths.
a few of these family suicides. We're gonna rip one out.
No, Gerwig's a great.
Yeah, and
Barbie.
the Dua Lipa "Dance the Night Away" music video, also great.
That was also
great.
solid.
No, I do think Greta Gerwig's like right there with Peele in terms of like she's 3 for 3. Like I don't think she's reached the heights of like a Get Out, or even maybe I think she's reached Nope level. I really love Little Women, but hasn't made anything as good as Get Out. But she is 3 for 3 firmly for me.
I don't know if you can't count it as a directing thing, but like she had a lot to do with Marriage Story too, which I think Marriage Story is very
Yeah.
And Frances Ha.
Frances Ha. Dude,
Yeah,
Frances
too,
Ha
yeah.
feels like it was directed more by her than
It
Noah
does.
Baumbach.
Yes, it feels like it was 100%.
The entire time you
directed.
watch it, it feels self-directed.
They're such a weird ass couple. Like you see those two, and you're like this disgusting pervy old man.
Yeah.
And then just like Greta Gerwig, who was still like not like a young girl or something, but like just like get away from that.
But
old
they were
creep.
exonerated recently because Jennifer Jason Leigh is a Zionist or something. I don't know.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Isn't that his ex that he cheated on with Gerwig?
Is that's? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah,
Well, that
dude.
makes sense, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And
So
then he made Marriage Story, and he was like, "This is how it all went down."
exactly how it
Definitely
happened.
didn't make Madagascar 3 to cover my alimony.
So Greta Gerwig off. My last pick. I'm between a few. I think just like as far as a hit catalog goes, I'll have
Just to
go
recap, I'm the only one who took a person of color.
You are so far. John
He's the
Favreau's
only
kind
one
of
who
tan.
took a woman.
Yeah.
So round out your list.
Ron Howard. He's literally the whitest. It could not be whiter if I tried. Ron Howard just got the deepest catalog left out of my guys. I mean, Apollo 13. I'm going to say it. I love this movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. One of my favorite Christmas movies.
Amazing.
A great movie. A Beautiful Mind, which I know people are a little torn on. I still think a solid movie. Cinderella
great
Man.
movie.
Cinderella Man, one of my favorite TV cart movies in high school. We watched that a trillion times for some reason. Frost Nixon, Rush, 13 Lives, which was not a lot of people watched. I think it was a COVID movie. It was about like that cave rescue in Thailand or whatever. Sneakily awesome. Like
Damn.
pretty fucking good. And obviously he was like a legendary young actor at the time, and then he switched over and did that. He also did the Cocoon and like couple other movies in the 80s and stuff. But those are the ones that stand out to me. Some of the honorable mentions, at least off mine, Jackie Chan. I mean,
he was on.
He was the next one up on my list. It's just his catalog isn't as well known for draft purposes. But Jackie Chan, Police Story 1 and 2, two of the best action movies for my money's worth ever made.
I mean, he basically, you've told me this before. He basically, or maybe it was one of your interviews where they said Jackie Chan basically built Hong Kong cinema. Like it doesn't exist without
he built the genre of action comedy that didn't really exist, and like because movies are either staunchly comedy or like staunchly action in Hong Kong, and like he's like, just fucking combine them. We'll make it like kind of like your body is a vehicle of humor. And he did that throughout, like he did a bunch of movies before that, like Drunken Master and stuff where they got ironed out. And then he does Police Story 1 and 2, which are amazing movies with like some of the best fight sequences you'll ever see now. And this is made in like 1980. It's as good or better than like anything you'll watch now. Even like shit like John Wick, you'll watch Police Story and be like, how the fuck did they pull this off?
Yeah.
Because there's not really any regulation on safety or anything like that.
Yeah,
like
some people were just getting
legit
hammered.
Like the opening of Police Story 1 is like them destroying
that village.
a real village that they built with a car, like blowing it up. And then a whole bunch of really cool like steady cam, not even steady cam, just like set shot fights. It's like you're gonna stand right here, no shaky cam, we're not gonna hide anything. You're gonna see people get the fuck beat out of them.
Dude, or like that I love that final shot, not the final shot, but the final stunt in Police Story when he like
in the
goes
mall?
down, and all those lights, and you can see apparently weren't they all just like lined up like looking down at it?
Yeah.
Like you can see all the people, like the crew kind of like in the background looking at him doing the stunt because they're like, is he gonna fucking die?
Because everyone was like, we had no idea if this would actually work. And like he could die. We don't know.
God
He's
damn.
going through a bunch of electric wires on like a pole.
Yeah.
And I think he like broke like 3 vertebrae or something and like had to get wheeled out.
Jesus.
But then like Police Story 2, also incredible. Project A, amazing. And Armor of God, which is like he saw Indiana Jones and was like, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, really?
And he did it, and it was incredible. And also incredible stunts and fights.
Adding that to my watch list.
Armor of God 1 and 2, both very good.
Arm of God or Armor?
Armor of God. I think might be like Operation Condor is the official name of it. But yeah, those are on there. Mel Gibson, I think, sneakily has a great filmography too when you look at it. Hacksaw Ridge, really solid movie. But Apocalypto, I think, is incredible.
I wrote a thesis paper on the anti-Semitism in Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ in college. Yeah,
you could have just ended it at anti-Semitism.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Passion of the Christ. You could throw that in there too. Braveheart, amazing.
Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart's great.
I rewatched that like 2 months ago on like a rainy Saturday, rainy Sunday, and it's just
I rewatched it last weekend. I forget how fucking good it is every time, man.
Good. The first, especially the first like hour. Is so
I don't even
good.
know if this movie's Braveheart-ish. But I gotta rewatch it because I saw Dances with Wolves on silent in a hospital room this year.
Okay, yeah.
But it looked neat.
It looked really cool. That's like a 5-hour
movie. Is it Braveheart vibes or no?
I would say no.
Damn
I don't think there's ever a point as exciting in Braveheart or in Dances with Wolves as any given second of.
I was on Dilaudid as well.
That's very fair. But Braveheart's really solid.
I was gonna try and sneak in Adam McKay on the list, but that definitely felt like cheating.
Yeah.
There's some like I thought like
George Clooney.
Orson Welles, but that's also like he was a stage actor. That doesn't really count.
Like Clooney has some good ones, but they're not enough.
I think Clooney's so inconsistent, like way too inconsistent.
Dude, that sci-fi one he did a couple years ago on Netflix was so bad.
Clooney comes out with some movies that my parents see, and I think I never see them in theaters.
The boat movie.
Yeah,
Boat
that was their
movie,
favorite movie of the year, and I couldn't find it like playing anywhere.
The Boys in the Boat. Boys in the Boat.
It wasn't playing in Manhattan, but my parents were raving about it.
He did Good Night, Good Luck, Ides of March, Tender Bar, which I thought was solid. I think we interviewed someone for Tender Bar. That was like a pretty cool little slice of life 70s movie with Ben Affleck. But yeah, a couple other ones too.
I hope to have
John
Bill Hader
Cassavetes.
on this list soon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
He should
who
be
else.
getting some features
Jodie
soon.
Foster,
Jodie Foster?
I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ones.
John Cassavetes.
Yeah, you were just saying before. Yeah, that would definitely count. But I think we have a good list. So Owens is Jordan Peele, Ben Stiller, Dennis Hopper. Robbie has Clint Eastwood, Ben Affleck, Greta Gerwig. I have Rob Reiner, John Favreau, and Ron Howard. Got Ron and Rob. Ron, Rob, and John. But yeah.
I'm reading now. Taylor Sheridan. He was a Sons of Anarchy. He was a TV actor.
Oh, he was a cop in Sons of Anarchy.
He was the cop for like the first season. Fuck, I guess like.
But as a director,
Also, he's
most of his is writing.
yeah. I think his gift
Twin
is
River
writing.
is amazing though.
True.
And he directed that. And like Was it Those Who Wish Me Dead? Was
But he wrote Sicario, right?
He wrote
Did
Sicario.
he
and Hell or High
direct
Water.
the second one, Day of the Soledad?
He didn't direct it.
No.
It was the guy that did 000.
That was such a funny sequel.
It was just insanely different movie.
The
Every
first
way
one was
different.
this like beautiful wrestling with like the morality of it, and the second one was like, what if it was awesome the whole time?
What if it was fucking cool, dude?
What if it's just fun to
What if
fuck
we're just
shit up?
blowing up people in Mexico?
But loved them both.
Yeah. I've rewatched Sicario 2 because when I first saw it, I didn't like it at all. And because I was like, a Sicario 1, I was like one of my favorite movies. And Sicario 2, I was like, what the fuck is this? But I rewatched it and I appreciated it more for what it was.
Yeah.
Whatever that's worth. Not great, but
Doesn't
okay.
it end with him like this? There's a post credit scene in the second one, isn't there? Where he like
Oh, I'm sure they were going for a
goes
third.
to like meet like some kid that showed up earlier in the movie, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you to be Sicario now.
Oh my
He's
god.
like, you're a Sicario 3.
I think
You're Sicario 3. It sucks. The first one really is so fucking good.
all time one of my favorite movies. One of the few I think Criterion Blu-rays I own. That's because that's one of my favorites. That should be. You ever throwing some of that bullshit they throw up on Criterion? And I think Sicario and the whole fucking Frontier trilogy should be on Criterion. Crazy, it's not.
What's the third in the Frontier trilogy?
Dude, I will say,
Oh, Hell or High Water.
We're talking
What
Criterion.
a trilogy.
If you're looking for a new streaming service, Dad,
I just
There's
added
this
it a
really-
couple
and
weeks ago based on your rec.
something new. Criterion's a great service, but they've launched a new feature that I fucking love, and I wish every service would do it from now on. They have a 24/7 channel that just plays movies.
Just playing movies,
They're just
yeah.
playing through their
That's smart.
filmography all the time. You can just flip on the channel. You can talk about it with anybody else watching at the same time. Kind of like cable, but it's nice. And it's not that
I didn't even
expensive.
think of that
I
aspect
watched
of
Collateral the other night.
Great
on
movie.
there.
You ever seen Collateral?
Collateral fucking rules, yeah.
I
I got a
kind of
video.
want to rewatch it again.
Tom Cruise, just let him play.
I got a
villains.
video essay I got to show you. It's a little inside baseball, but you'll like it.
Is that, what do you call it? They're doing a Michael Mann festival, I think, somewhere soon, which I would definitely go to.
Manfest?
Yeah, like a Man
Did you
Fest.
guys like Ferrari?
It was
I
like
didn't
all
see
right. It was.
I watched it on a plane, so I feel like I can't be too harsh on it, but
It's like
boy, did
whatever.
it do nothing for me.
Yeah, it was House of Gucci too. You know what I mean? Like, I was
Yeah.
watching, like,
Adam Driver's addicted to playing Italians.
yeah, just like literally yes. It's just like kind of whatever. But yeah, good lists. Now we can do a little review of Monkey Man.
Yes,
Monkey
sir.
Man talk.
I'm gonna bounce, dude.
We'll see you at
Thanks.
Civil War.
Love
Probably
you.
on Monday. Okay, Monkey Man. First of the two reviews on this episode. We'll be doing Civil War after this. Monkey Man, an anonymous young man, unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corrupt leaders that murdered his mother and continue to systemically
I think you can say
victimize.
either way. I think it's like one of those like
No, 'cause they're just-
systemically just sounds smarter.
No, it just doesn't even spell systematically at all. I just misread it. It's just
Oh, okay.
systemically. Victimize the poor and the powerless. Directed by Dev Patel, who also stars in it. The couple other, a lot of names from Indian cinema that you people watching this, I just assume wouldn't be know. I definitely don't know. And then Charlton Copley, who you'll definitely know from like everything, District 9, Elysium, and all stuff like that. Okay, so Monkey Man. It was kind of pitched, I think, very intentionally to be like, hey, we're doing like Indian John Wick. There's a couple different ways I think we can look at this. I think we both kind of feel sort of similar on it. So we can kind of just jump right into it. So I think this movie definitely is not a carbon copy of John Wick, but very intentionally trying to capture that same vibe. I don't think it does really at any point, and I think that there's some stuff missing from this that make this like a little bit more engaging of a story, because it should be pretty baseline, right? It's a guy's mom's brutally murdered by crime syndicate. He does this whole big master plan growing up to like infiltrate this gang and then kill the people that killed his mom. That should be super engaging. I just feel like maybe the way it's put together isn't.
I think it's edited terribly.
I think that's maybe, I think that might just be it, right?
I think it's terribly edited, terribly cut. But yeah, I think that's the biggest issue, to be honest. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I liked it. I really wanted to love it because I do think that like the idea of taking a movie like a John Wick or like these action movies, like, and put them somewhere else, tell a totally different story, and like do something, because like that's something I love about like The Raid or like Police Story, just in areas and locations that like I'm not familiar with, and like kind of giving us like a glimpse into a different world. Love all of that. It's just, I don't know. It was missing some juice, and I think that maybe editing was the maybe the area to blame here. I'd probably give it like a like a 75-ish. Like dead in the middle. Like I like it. I think people will definitely enjoy it. But I really just kind of bummed out because I really wanted it to be a lot better. But yeah, I'm like a 75 in it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm at like a 70. A lot of the same issues. I think it's just the first act runs incredibly long.
Yeah.
And builds up things that the second act immediately establishes where it's like you almost don't even need like half that first act.
Mm-hmm.
3/4 of that first act. It beats you over the head that he's terrible at fighting.
Yep.
His life sucks, which is very clear. There's so many flashbacks in these hard cut flashbacks to his traumatic childhood that I think it loses its effect at some point. And it waits too long to really jump into the fun of things. Like once you get to the trans characters, I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
That little cathedral where he rehabilitates and trains. That's fucking awesome. The training montage, holy shit, that's like a highlight of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, campy, fun. That's what it becomes from there on out. And it works, but it takes so fucking long to get going that you're like, oh my God, finally. And then you're about 2 hours in by the end of it, and you're kind of itching in your seat because over 2 hours for an action movie, a popcorn movie, is a long time.
Yeah.
It is. Dev Patel, fucking fantastic. I don't know if he's going to pan out as a director. This is a pretty good movie. Pretty well turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't see like Jordan Peele off the bat, but it's good. He's very good as a leading man here, though. Like very good. I said it in my like little Letterboxd review. If this is his audition tape for 007 and I'm watching and I'm the Broccoli's, I'm getting on the phone. He is like, he's suave, he's handsome. I mean, he's handsome as hell in this thing. And he has a good fighting technique. It looks cool. Like he's lanky and it works.
Especially considering his arm was shattered in the first day of shooting.
I wonder how much that really affected things.
Yeah.
Especially shooting, because there's like, that's my other complaint for the action. At points, it looks awesome. And there's some these like really cool tracking shots.
Yeah.
Or like in the ring, they zoom up on their faces and they're coming at the camera. I love that. And then other times it's bad shaky cam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think shaky cam is inherently bad. This was bad shaky cam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the action just, it goes off the rails at points. And you never get like a wide scope, which bothers me.
There's a lot of tight spaces.
Yes.
Maybe that's intentional, but I don't know. There was a lot of like, you're in a bathroom where you're like right up in their face or something. You're not like, you never really get that wide set like John Wickish fight, you know?
Mm-hmm. And he's so tall and lanky where it's like, I'd love to see the wide shot because it's probably looks great. His like limbs flying all over the place. The kill with the neck kill.
Yeah.
That's the highlight kill of the, I think the movie. And then the villain is just so whatever.
He should have been cooler. I don't know. Like he was like, he had a cool like,
swag to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say a very suave sort of, and maybe you could say the same thing. I feel like maybe what's his name, a kid, was it? Or Dev Patel was very like,
his name was Bobby.
Yeah,
too, which was
he was very like neurotic at times, but I do think that villain, that's like the shaman guy, or whatever, is like very suavish.
Yeah, but like they kind of take forever to establish him.
Yeah,
you kind of can't figure out who the villain is until the end.
Yeah. And he's like kind of the good guy at first too, almost, and like
yes,
it's a little weird. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this. I think you raised a good point just about the, especially in that first act where like they cut back to that fucking ring like 200 times to show him get the shit beat out. I'm like, yeah, I fucking get it. Like,
I think it should have started with him trying to attempt that murder. So spoilers. Cut to the part where he enters the restaurant, he gets the job at the restaurant, and then he tries to kill him. He gets his ass beat because he doesn't know what he's fucking doing.
Yep.
And then he just goes and trains.
Yeah.
Start from there.
It was very like all over the place, like especially like you're saying with the hard cuts to like the village and like him with his mom and all that shit. Very disorienting, I think is maybe the word. And it could have been so much easier. And you don't have to be like completely linear, I don't think. But I do think even the way you just proposed it, I think would have been just a better way to edit the movie and just kind of like present this whole thing.
Yeah, no, and I wish we got kind of more of the wrestling stuff. To be honest, the wrestling stuff looked great. Who was the actor that they had cast as the Englishman in the ring? He was electric.
Let's see.
That was a perfectly hammed up character.
Oh, they even have him on here? Oh, no, they don't see him.
Also, a lot of hot chicks in this movie.
A lot of hot chicks.
So many.
The guy who I really liked was like his the dirty little short guy that was his friend at the time. That was like the perfect little like scummy sidekick character.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I liked him. I like all the actors. I think are fine. It's just like it really comes down to maybe you could take the same footage and make it, and it could be a significantly better movie.
Yeah, I think there's like the bones are there. It's put together so
Shot.
weird.
Yeah, it's because really like every individual like ingredient of this is great. It's just the final product is not like the acting's good. The storyline should be engaging, right?
Yes.
Like that's like anyone like, hey, my mom got killed.
Maybe the storyline does, by the way, engage a lot more for people who are a lot more familiar with the politics of the region.
Sure,
and, like, familiar with the culture. We might be way off base here, but just from an outsider looking in.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I'm doing Robin Hood shit, helping the poor people getting victimized by these rich criminal syndicates and all that shit. Like all that shit should be super engaging. Acting's good. For the screenwriting, for the most part, it's like this is never one where that is like a massive like premium on that.
Say some cool lines.
Yeah, just like that's all fine. Like there's like every individual. I think some of the shots too, especially nighttime, were really cool. Apparently they shot this all in Indonesia too, which I didn't know. But I mean, it looks really cool. Like the neon stuff, like even the fight rings, like all like everything, every individual component of this is solid. It's just the way it's put together. It kind of needed to. It's like a guy trying sex for the first time or something. It's like, it's like they have no idea. Like
slow down. Slow down.
It's like speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, like middle, and like going back and forth. It's like Ray Allen style. It's like this needed some steady stroking. This needs some deep dicking or something. I don't know what. But I think just some better editing would have really made this a much better movie. And I think you're dead on with that being like the biggest maybe roadblock to this being really good.
Yeah, no, Dev Patel definitely needs to be cast in something big. He's obviously like a well-known actor and stuff, but I think there's a franchise out there for him, or like not a franchise because I don't know if he needs to be attached to like a non-original IP, but something he can really have as his own, like John Wick or.
By the way,
I don't know what it would be.
Something I almost forgot. The music in this was awesome.
Mostly, yeah.
All the music was fucking cool as hell.
There was one that was really on the nose where I was like, which one was it? Roxanne. But outside of that.
I guess, but I think like all like the Indian songs were like really fucking cool.
So awesome.
Like the Indian rap songs are awesome.
Yeah.
Especially in like the first act and like throughout that, like those sequences were sick. And I think most of the bad guy, like, the criminal actors in this were like pretty menacing.
Yeah, the one main, what's his name? The big dude.
I don't know his name.
He looked almost like Joe Manganiello.
Like
Indian Joe Manganiello. But he ruled. He was like big and menacing, and he had a really cool fighting style. It paired well against Devs.
Yep. But yeah, I loved most. I liked every individual component. Just needed some better editing. But yeah, that's Monkey Man. I think both of us liked it. Not thrilled with it. Wished it was better, just based on the sort of hype that going into it.
Happy it was in theaters. Yeah. Very happy. That movie is not nearly as good on when you're watching in your living room.
Definitely not. I'd say that like if you're dying to see a movie in a theater, you definitely could do worse than seeing Monkey Man. And I would say like if you're looking for an action movie, obviously it's gonna be the best one you're gonna see in theaters. Next up, we'll have Civil War with Owen back up in here. We'll be recording that on a different date. All right, Civil War review time. Back again. Civil War. Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Kaylee Spaney, Stephen McKinley Henderson, and Earth. Not as thick.
God damn it! I thought we were doing the 1860 ones.
Oh fuck! I knew that we were doing like Glory.
Yeah,
Matthew Broderick. That movie, kind of a killer. You ever see Glory?
No.
It's Matthew Broderick, Denzel, Morgan Freeman, Andre Brower, all in like a movie about like the first like black regiment and like the Civil War or something. Crazy good movie.
We'll do that one next.
That one's up next, exactly. But yeah, big ass crew. Thick boy Jesse Plemons. Look, he's like, I think this movie is filmed right when he was midway between being rail skinny, which he is now, and being thick, which he was before. He's like right in that transition zone.
Mm-hmm. Looks good. Looks good. I like the buzz cut. I like the buzz cut quite a bit on him. Yeah. Maybe it's just the Friday Night Lights influence, but he looks very nice. It looks very natural for him.
Yeah. A journey across this dystopian future America following a team of military-embedded journalists as they race against time to reach D.C. before rebel factions descend upon the White House. Civil War, a movie where I feel like the reactions have been kind of polarized. I feel like the early reviews are all like, this is one of the best movies ever. And then like the next wave, I think was a little more negative. And now we're seeing like sort of like an even split. I've seen a lot of people be like every single bit of minutia about this movie, I've seen people on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, which is funny because the entire movie is kind of built like, hey, having like like this much kind of separation between people is bad, but yet every single aspect of this movie has divided everybody. It's crazy.
Way to go, Garland.
Good job,
Way to
Garland.
go. Retire, bitch.
You fucked it all up. This is all a movie where it's a good one. This is a movie where I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff about it. I think that there's kind of two movies within this: the actual Civil War movie and then the war journalist movie. I think the war journalist movie part is really good. I think you could have put this same story and not an American Civil War, and you get a much better movie.
Yeah, Vietnam maybe,
like any other
Korea,
any other existing war. The Civil War part of this was to me not necessary, and it did a disservice to the Civil War angle of it by making it the journalist movie. So
I was gonna say, when you said there was like two movies in it, he should have picked one, but he very much did.
Yeah,
it was about the photojournalist.
It was 100% about that.
Yeah,
but the thing is like
frustratingly vague on the other side.
Yeah, it felt like there were like, what is the purpose then of doing this in a future American Civil War if that's not even a remote focus of it? You know what I mean?
And they make it very clear that it's apolitical, and it is. It's as apolitical as you can get. And that the war is not the focus. But there's a fucking American Civil War going on through the whole movie. You don't just ignore that. Like, and that part is so clearly not thought out at all. It's such an afterthought. So that whenever you, like, for a second, think about what's going on in the Civil War, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
No.
And then you're just like, okay, then we're just doing this so we can get, like, Americans shooting each other on photographs? Like,
yeah, I think he just wanted really hard imagery, which he got sometimes.
yeah, it works.
Like snipers facing the Freedom Tower.
Yeah.
Oof, cool. Yeah.
But like, yeah.
There's just something missing there.
And I really like this movie. I really liked it, but it's just like, it's fucking stupid on that side of things. Like, it's just not thought through.
It almost reminds me of like, did you see the skit, the Gosling, Beavis and Butthead skit? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It just reminds me of that, where it's just like, oh, well, I'm just not supposed to address Beavis is there. I'm not supposed to just even think about the fact that it's an American Civil War. Like, you know what I mean?
Beavis?
The kids' cartoon? Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar.
But it's one of those things. It's just like a big elephant in the room that you're just not supposed to look at. And that I just don't totally get. There's a lot about the movie I liked. I think that we're all going to mostly agree on. But Gooch, what did you think of it?
Yeah, no, like I said, I really liked it. I think that first off, the performances across the board, all great. Spanny, I think, is a massive star in the making. She crushes it. I think she's probably the best performance in the whole movie. The way everything looks, incredible. I mean, that's Garland for you. Like, he just doesn't put out bad looking stuff, even going back to Devs. And it sounds amazing. I mean, it's one of the best sounding movies you'll see all year. Right there with Dune Part 2.
Good music, too.
Great needle drops. We were talking about that.
Needle drops. Reminiscent of Children of Men.
Yeah, great point.
Not reminiscent of Children of Men was that car scene that people are comparing.
What, the explosion scene from the beginning of Children of Men and then the bombing in this, I guess?
Yeah. Not the same pop for me.
No. But the Children of Men one was crazy.
Yeah.
The full deafening and everything.
Movies of all
That's
time,
one of my top. I cry every time. The stairway scene. Yeah.
And so, and all that to say, great stuff. It's just like, this is into like one of the best movies I'll see all year territory. If they put this in Korea, they put this in Nam, they put this in any other war. That way, that side of things, Garland doesn't have to make it up on his own. Like, that just becomes a huge distraction. And
more futuristic, that it's not like a commentary on today.
Yeah.
Just anything but.
Exactly. Like, I think this was like the last thing you should choose. I guess for marketing reasons, it'll probably work. More people are going to see the movie because of it. Yeah. But you can't pretend that it's not affecting the movie at all. Like, Garland, like, acting like wiping his hands clean, being like,
apolitical has nothing to do with the Civil War. Like,
I don't think you can just get away with that.
But why? It's like, why do that? Is, I think that's the biggest issue I have with the thing. Why bother doing this Civil War? Is, man, I just don't get it.
It makes for like stronger stills, but like a weaker movie. I think
you get to see like a crashed helicopter in front of a JC Penney's. Looks cool as fuck.
His defense of that is it's a movie about stills and photography, and I don't know. But I thought the same thing. It like looked awesome. It sounded awesome. Had me locked in at points, but then it was just like frustratingly lackluster at points. But I thought following photographers and like jumping in and out of like a cinematic cam and their black and white shots was really cool.
Oh, that was super cool. Great.
I would have loved to do that, like you said, in a real war or something.
Yeah.
To just jump off that stuff, I think again, like all technicals were great, shots were great, and the still photography, like you're saying, awesome. I think the third act of this movie is legit, like kind of haunting, like creepy. Like kind of like
I have differing opinions on this.
Same.
I think when I was watching it, I was like, there's points where you just get like little moments, like glimpses into like a street fight in America, where just like you don't visually get that usually, and like that shit is creepy. There's no doubt about it. It's just I wish that was part of a different movie. Is the thing. A lot of people I think are very divided on the ending. I think the big kind of like in your face like convergence of stuff is I like that part of it. And I do like that sort of like just pop ending. I know people are. Were you guys? We'll say we're jumping into spoilers now. What would you guys think of the ending?
It just kind of ties into the. I don't think Garland gave the war part of things very much thought because they're getting the photography. It's obviously like amazing. Like they've made it to the point they're trying to get to, and everything's tying together at the end. But if you stop and think about it for a second, you're like, they're keeping the president in the fucking White House in the middle of the city with a 10-foot fence around the wall. Like, you cannot stop and think about any of this for a second. He's hiding under his desk. Spoilers. It's like, this is what would happen. This doesn't feel
also
like for as grounded and realistic as like the war photography is, it becomes so fantastical on the other side that it's just like
the scene with Plemons and that like overhead shot of Spenny having to come out of that fucking sea of bodies, that like has such like a chilling, almost like art house feel.
For sure.
Then to also try and cash in on like what felt like a Beekeeper third act to me.
Like they're bombing the memorial.
Different tones.
Like they're bombing the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, bombing the Lincoln Memorial, and then like everyone gets their perfect line at the end. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Sure, I get that. I think that the whole idea, right, is that you're following these journalists and they're having this whole like in the journalist part of it. I think that was a good closing of their storyline where they're like, hey, we have all these guys. Their whole thing is like, we're anti-war. We're trying to show people war sucks. Don't do this. And like really by the end of it, they're showing like we're as bloodthirsty as these people. You know what I mean? Like we are as like everything is just all about this one thing. Like we act like we're better than them. We're better than these soldiers. We're better than these like murderers. But really like fucking Dunst gets clipped and like they just get up and leave like nothing happened and just go take this shot. And like they get that last line of the president. And it's just like very, like, and then maybe this is part of it too. All the other characters in this, and I mentioned this on Twitter too, all the characters non-journalists in this movie are like legitimate apes. Like
just bloodthirsty apes. Or the worst people. Yeah, just the worst people imaginable. Like, if you're not the only people with morals
are journalists.
Yeah, I told Gooch, we had Alex Garland like talk for 30 seconds before our movie. And he was like, all I'll say is most of the tickets I gave out tonight were to journalists. Over 200 journalists are here. This movie's for you. And it's like, that's what it felt like. It was like, oh, journalists are so smart and everyone's dumb as hell. Like,
and that part of it, and I think that like that kind of undercuts maybe a little bit of the whole like, hey, watch them turn into what they detest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And maybe that undercuts it a little bit, which kind of stinks. But the other thing I just liked on it too, I think you guys mentioned Kaylee Spaney, but I think that Dunst, as far as like non-theatrical performances, like that's like one of my favorites. Like she's not. Yeah. She was like the most regular looking person and feeling person I think I've seen.
I was nervous to bring that up because I don't think like commenting on women's looks can ever get you into a good spot here. But Dunst being such a natural looking like 40-year-old woman really helps this movie. And it's like Nicole Kidman. Like I cannot watch her in like The Northman and stuff that or The Beguiled. Like it really takes me out. Dunst is such a natural performer here. Like you're so believable as a war-torn photographer. Like I said, all the performances great. Kaylee, how do you say her name?
Kaylee Spaney, right?
Kaylee Spaney stuck out to me, but they're all great. And Dunst was one of them.
What's Mora's first name?
Rooney.
Wagner Moura. I thought he was the best in this movie.
I liked Steve McKinley Henderson a lot, but he's great in everything.
He's one of those guys.
You see when you're like, I love that
guy.
Dude.
Love him. To watch a banger.
Yep. I really liked him.
Wagner Moura is a good cigarette smoker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Great cig guy. But yeah, I think Dunst, I think people were kind of like on her ass off scene and they're like, oh, she was like boring, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that's like exactly what you want out of this role.
And she nailed that like 1,000-yard stare.
Exactly.
That you see with the Lorax. That Lorax meme.
Exactly.
I think Kaylee Spaney's character should have got clipped if the movie had balls because like she was going too hard in the paint in that last act.
Yeah,
that was I will completely put a disclaimer out there. I don't know anything about war journalism. They really just let you like be on the tag team, like you're fucking SEAL Team 6. Like
I think, not for something like that, but they do get into the trenches.
Like if
but they're like usually in like I'm pretty sure like they're wearing
away from
and they're wearing like the same kind of protective stuff that any soldier would be wearing, though.
I
A helmet,
saw-
a vest.
They're like breaching. Like they have like a 20-year-old girl like breaching
with-
hand on the back of like
with a
the
shirt-
strike team.
with a shirt and jeans from Kohl's. Nothing else
So
on.
there's a stand-up, I forget her name, but she had a bit. It was like how Nam was the first war with cameramen. So it's just like you could get like rifle, sniper, content creator.
Yeah. So literally, that's probably
you
goes
have
after.
to run around with the camera. Yeah.
That was also a crazy thing, by the way. Doing this in film, like a film photographer, like that's crazy bullshit. I'm sorry. You're in the middle of a fucking war zone. You're gonna stop and develop film. Like, that's crazy. But yeah,
that's a great point. Yeah,
it's one of the weird things about it. I'm like, it looks really cool.
it makes it look
white.
great, but like, yeah, you would be shooting this on a fucking digital camera.
Yeah, and it's funny because they even mention it in the
because then she's definitely taking more than 36 exposures in the final scene. She's fucking going nuts. She would have had to reset the film.
And it was like she was saying too,
did bother me.
like they have that whole dialogue where she's like, and this is true with film photography. Like she's like, yeah, like you figure 1 of every 30 is good, which is true. Like it's so hard to get a good shot. You need to take each one like 5 times just to make sure you got it right. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that weird parts are weird. I think the very much suspension of disbelief, like you were talking about, where like he didn't leave, the president didn't leave before all this started going down, and like they're like, oh, we have this crazy fascist dictator president, and he just doesn't want to use nukes for some reason either. Like he doesn't want like so many options at his disposal that he just refuses to touch. But yeah, I think a little bit. It's just both these stories could have been done cooler. I think if you're going to do a movie about a future American Civil War, I think that needs to be dealt with more care than it was given as being like the backdrop of a journalist story. That's like all it was for this was a setting for a different thing. And I think that they should have been maybe separated. But other than that, I really liked a lot about it. Liked a lot of the lines, liked a lot of the delivery, a lot of really good collection of really good scenes.
Yeah, it's funny. We have like these complaints, but at the same time, you just put it on. I mean, it's a visual medium. It looks good and it sounds good, man. Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
I'll probably rewatch this a lot.
Yeah, like I probably will too. Like you said, the soundtrack's great. Like,
yep. Clement's scene was all, like you mentioned, I think one of my favorites. That
was
of this year. What kind of American are you?
Scary as
like
fuck.
Doing like the little like almost like an immigration quiz on them. I guess that was cool.
Wasn't like he was the last second ad, right? Like he showed up for one day of shooting, pretty much.
It looked like it was only one day of shooting.
I saw somebody tweeted like a Nick Mullen from Down clip. It was like Jesse Plemons in Civil War. It was like, you're Chinese.
Yeah. Literally, that was it. But yeah, I think there's a collection of other really good scenes too. Just like small dialogue moments. It's just. I don't know. I just like we are complaining a lot, but there is a lot of really good stuff in this movie.
But I guess I'm complaining a lot because it was almost really fucking good.
Yeah, it's very
almost
close.
Like amazing.
I don't know if you said this in like Iraq or Afghanistan, if it has the same like punch to it, but like I think if your whole point is, hey, this is all about journalists, then why not do that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And people would still go see it because it's Alex Garland and it was A24, but like I don't know, there's a lot of it, and like. You'll see like a lot of clips are coming out now of Garland like kind of explaining like the lore of the Civil War to people, and like parts of it are cool and parts of it I'm still don't totally grasp.
I find the more he talks, the more it's getting confusing to me.
Yes. The more I think it got away from him.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like
now he wants both. Also, it's hard to shake just being British and making
that too.
Yeah.
we should make a Civil War
British
movie. They've had 1,000 of them. We only had like one.
Yeah,
over their history, so we could pull that off. A second Northern invasion.
What are they called over there? The Tories and the I don't know how that country split.
It would be beans versus toast.
Yeah, just all the toad in the holes versus beans on toast.
British people, this British girl in front of me at the bodega this morning, nastiest order: plain bagel, cream cheese with cucumbers on top, and 2 slices of white bread on the side.
On the side?
Dude, the guy behind the counter like just looked at her and he goes, "Cucumber?"
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Cucumber.
That's fucking great. You do the cucumber wrap? Ever seen that one? Yeah.
Cucumber.
I mean, that is great information on it. But yeah, I think I'm landing in like it's tough because again, it was so borderline to being like one of my favorite movies of the year. If it just wasn't in the Civil War,
feeling like Children of Men at points, and it was like this could be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it could also do dystopian future and it not be in America. It could be anything, you know. But I don't know. I think I would land on this in like 79, probably, like right around there. I wish it was way better. A lot of really good stuff. It's just it's so weird. All the micro, like, or was it the parts are better than the whole? I guess is what like the moral of the story here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wish it was better.
Yeah, no, I'm in an 80, and I'm right there with you. It's so close to being like really great, maybe Garland's best, and it just like missed on like one major story element. Like, it just really did miss. But I will rewatch this movie, and I just will try to turn my brain off for that side of things and enjoy the other.
Owen?
I'll kind of just echo, I guess, what you guys said, but we're giving them a hard time for like blue ballsing us on a masterpiece. But 78.
Yeah, I don't blame anyone either for giving it a low score. Really, like if that part bothers you enough, like I could definitely see it ruining the movie.
Which part?
Like the Civil War side of things. If you get hung up on that side of things, it will ruin the movie. It will ruin the movie.
I want to note though, I think if the White House fight scene was very cool. I think the whole if that was like in whatever Zero Dark 30, I'm like, this is fucking sick. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
All that shit was very cool.
Please don't let them kill me.
Yeah, please don't let them kill. That'll work. I like that. But yeah, solid movie. I think we're all kind of just blue balled on it, which is whatever. It's tough to be like, hey, this is what we would have done. Us filmmaking,
exactly. We wouldn't have thought of anything. But.
Yeah, but
we're not directors.
Yeah,
neither is Alex Garland, but we are.
Son of a bitch. All right, but that's Civil War. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.